Hello everyone, Neil Patel here. Thank you for downloading the latest episode of the Indian Startup Show. So today I speak to Dr. Geetha Manjunath. She's the co-founder and CEO of NIRAMAI. It's a startup developing a novel breast cancer screening solution. Breast cancer is the largest killer for women today. So in this episode, we talk about what inspired her to do this and how it actually works. She explains the business model and how they plan to scale. She also shares her thoughts getting to grips with machine learning and AI, the reaction of the health industry, what it's like being a first-time founder and dealing with skeptical doctors, and much, much more. So please enjoy the show. Thank you. Hello, Geetha. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Hi, Neil. Thanks for inviting us for your show.
Excellent. Please tell the listeners what you're building, please.
Sure. At NIRAMAI, we are trying to build a new solution for breast cancer screening, which can help all women to detect early stage breast cancer in a completely privacy-aware manner. As you probably know, breast cancer is the largest cancer killer in women today. And less than 2% of women actually go cancer screening as a preventive mechanism. So really, we need a solution which can be affordable, accessible, and acceptable by women. And we are trying to build such a solution.
Okay. And what inspired you to do this?
Actually, from a technology perspective, we were looking at, how can machine learning and artificial intelligence be used for medical imaging to provide non-invasive health diagnostics or monitoring. While looking and working on this problem, there were a few breast cancer cases very close to my, my family, a few of my cousins, and I was seeing how they were suffering. And another data point came in that there was this technology called thermography, which people had tried before, but because of accuracy limitations, it was not being used regularly. So there was an internal motivation to solve this problem, and also the technology was maturing, and we thought it's the right time to create this solution for the people.
And how long have you been doing this for? And can you share some stats? How many people are using it?
Sure. We started this particular project 3 years ago, where we were just looking at the image analytics algorithms, AI and ML, approaches to solve this problem. But commercialization just about a year old, and so now we have 3 commercial installations, and we have tried it on over 700 patient data now.
Excellent. Okay, and is that what you expected when you first launched the product?
No, actually, we thought it would be very difficult because initial 3 years we were able to only try it on about 300 patients' data. And within 3 months of our launching on the commercial, we actually outnumbered what we had done in 3 years. So we feel we have actually done much more than what we thought we will be able to do, get to the people and so on. The response from the community has been really good. So we've actually also done a lot of outreach programs, gone to corporate houses, conducted screening camps within their offices, gone to rural areas to conduct free screening camps to these people who don't have access to health facilities at all. So the response has been amazing. And I think even the number looks small. It's in just over 3 to 4 months. And so it's very exciting for us.
Okay. So you mentioned machine learning. Just for those people who don't understand what that is, if you could just explain that, please.
Machine learning is a method of using mathematics in the form of probability theory, statistics, and so on, in order to solve a real problem where just human intelligence is not sufficient, right? You need the huge computational power of the computers to help and learn how a decision process is made. Simplistically, one of the ways of using machine learning is to do, let's say, a classification or a diagnosis of, let's say, cancer. So here what we do is we try to learn a probability model which represents a human brain or an expert doctor's brain, roughly, right? So what we do is we have what's called as a training set where we have a bunch of patients' data with the result that the doctor had earlier prescribed. That is whether she's cancerous or not. And then we use this historical data to build this mathematical model, which now will be ready to predict for a new patient whether she is malignant or not, using what's called as features and so on and so forth. The good part is, because it's a computing environment, the machine learning algorithm can look at lots of data points. For example, for thermal scanning and breast cancer screening in NIRAMAI, we use 400,000 temperature values of the chest of a single lady, which is a humongous, huge cognitive overload for a doctor to stare at, right, and make a diagnosis. So leveraging the earlier efforts and diagnosis that the doctors have made, we learn a model which will now be a major as a tool for the doctor to make the final decision, or in some cases can also try to replace the doctor to some extent.
Where did you learn all this then?
I have a PhD in data analytics and machine learning from Indian Institute of Science. And I've actually worked on many problems where ML has been used, being part of the research organizations for the last 25 years. Having said that, machine learning is a new science that has developed over the last probably 8 to 10 years max. And have had the opportunity to go back to school and learn some of these models, from stalwarts, from professors of ISC and other places. So, and then work with very smart engineers in my team and researchers in my team to actually try it out on real problems, giving us the confidence that we are ready to solve a very, very important problem in life today, which is breast cancer.
What is the state of machine learning in India then, would you say?
Machine learning is not really a geography-dependent thing. I would say that, let's say 5 to 8 years back, the techniques that were being used were not, proven enough, not having good confidence in the results of ML and so on, ML algorithms. Because machine learning requires a good amount of data to train so that, it can actually mimic or kind of reproduce a human's brain, as I mentioned. So now you're seeing a lot of digitization happening everywhere. For example, even in healthcare, you see a lot of hospitals going in for EMRs, electronic medical records, and other kind of digital data, which can be fed into the algorithm to perform better and better. So I think now it is ripe enough to be tried on real, critical problems. And we are happy to be in that era where we're just making a transition from, it would have been good to try to actually can be tried, that transition of making ML real.
Excellent. So if someone's listening and they want to get into machine learning, what advice would you give them?
I would say go back and brush up your maths, which we generally forget in high school and so on. Yeah. And I would also say it's not so hard. Go through some of the let's say Coursera courses that's available. And most importantly, try it out hands-on. Download some data sets that are available. Try out some applied ML kind of algorithms. Try out things on problems. Try out these algorithms on problems that are close to you, right? You have access to data. Try to think about what can I predict, which I don't know about this, and try to formulate it as a machine learning problem. And there are several tools today, and many languages can be used for actually programming and using machine learning algorithms. Could be Python, R, Scala, MATLAB, Java, C, whatever is the language of your choice. Just go ahead and do it, but please make your hands dirty. Otherwise, it's all be in books.
Excellent. And how we going back to NIRAMAI then? How does it work? Can you explain how it works?
Sure. So from an end user perspective, the experience is very simple. The lady comes into our center. It's a very small room, and she just sort of made to kind of relax for 5 minutes, and then she goes in front of our thermal sensing device. This is also called a thermal camera, which captures the temperature from a distance. Like it looks, it's like a small camera sitting on a tripod, 3 feet from the patient. So the patient sits on a chair. The camera or the thermal sensing device measures the temperature on the chest. The lady is asked to sort of move a bit in the chair. That's it. And while doing so, nobody touches her or even sees her. There's a screen where she's just given instructions to sit on the chair, and we take the images, and that's it. All the analysis is done in our software, which is hosted in the cloud. Mm-hmm. That's it. So just sit, and I call this as a 5-step dance process. Sit in front, turn to the left, turn right. That's it.
Yeah. So. Okay, excellent. How accurate is it then, would you say?
Fortunately for us, in the amount of testing that we've done, we have got really good results, in upper 90s, and we're really hopeful that we'll be able to maintain that level of accuracy, at what you call as sensitivity and specificity, mm-hmm. When we actually go on really, really large number of cases. By far, cancer detection is a very hard problem. Even the current techniques are not, they're no better than 80-85%. There's so many women who cannot undergo, let's say, mammography because of density of the breast and so on. So compared to all this, doctors say that, we are very, very far ahead in the accuracy, and sort of, it's extremely promising technology.
So what's been the reaction of the health industry to what you're doing then?
We've had a couple of mixed kind of reactions. The first reaction is, this is really, really promising, and you are on a very good track. So that's a uniform response we get. Mm-hmm. Some of the healthcare specialists are very willing to try this out, because thermography as such is already an adjunct breast cancer screening modality. Mm-hmm. It's approved by FDA as an adjunct modality. So a couple of hospitals are very much open to actually install this and trying this out in their hospitals and diagnostic centers. In fact, not couple, we have quite a few of them interested in doing this. And there are a few hospitals who are interested in doing as an informal trial, mm-hmm. comparing our results with their mammography and ultrasound tests, and then converting it into an actual deployment. And we are open to both. We are open to doing evaluation trials. We are open to doing screening camps for them, and then get their confidence and get our own confidence that this is working fine. I increased one, and then try this out. But there are also a small pocket of them who are a little skeptical. They want to see maybe a couple of thousands to be done, and then they will be adopting.
How does that make you feel then, the people who are skeptical?
So actually most doctors are slightly not as accepting technology as, let's say, a customer care person or a transportation person. Mm-hmm. Rightly so, because it's a very, very important problem, and they are making an extremely important decision. And we are talking about cancer, so it's about life, right? Life and death situation. Mm-hmm. So we definitely understand why they're skeptic and why those questions are being asked, and we share the current approaches. And the most important thing is, because ours is absolutely has no side effect. That is, it's extremely safe. We are not using X-rays. We are not using radiation. We're just measuring the temperature. It's completely non-invasive. When we actually go into a lot of details, they say, yeah, of course you can do this as another test. And then when they see the results, they say, yeah, of course this can possibly used as a mainline test. So we see them getting converted from skepticism to yes, and sort of come and do it. So we like that journey of moving. So we don't get deterred by the initial questions, but we like the journey of moving from, we always say minus 1,000 to plus 100 or whatever, that kind of sentiment. Yeah.
Excellent. So in the next 2 or 3 years then, what would you say your aims and objectives?
Definitely we would like to deploy this in a few more locations, first in India, provide this solution for many, many more women through outreach programs, the screening camps that we do inside corporates as well as rural areas. And maybe in the next year or so, we will actually go for a further regulatory approval that may be needed for going outside India as well.
Actually, what in your opinion, what would healthcare look like in 50 years' time then? Will it be all AI, machine learning? What's your opinion?
Yeah, there are many things that we can think about. First aspect is definitely AI and ML is going to play a good role, much better role than where we are today. While we will definitely need doctors to be mediating for several of their expertise. Another is the trust factor that they bring in with the patients and so on. Mm-hmm. The AI/ML tools will be, AI/ML algorithms will be excellent tools and friends of these doctors to help them increase their productivity and help them make very minimal errors, because doctors are also human, right? And at some point in time, they're also making a little bit of a guesswork because there's so much data that's out there. So this ML tool can help the doctors really assimilate the huge amount of data that will be available. More sensing devices will be available at that time. So there's more data, more confusion for the doctors. So these tools will be excellent friends. Probably doctors will be in a situation that they will not be able to make diagnosis without these tools, right? They forget they're like, oh, where is my tool? Without that, I can't figure out, right? So probably that's a situation that will come in. The second aspect is about what is called as precision medicine. That is, every person will have different type of treatment. Right now, it's 3 or 4 treatment options, and a patient comes in, it's either one of the 3, right? Mm-hmm. It will be very customized and personalized medicine for each of them. And again, these tools will help in making that decision, treatment planning. And third part is, I think end users would be more empowered with tools which can use for wellness, right? So that, there's several variables. You can measure your heart rate when you're walking. You can measure, of course, your temperature, your BP, and all of those things, right? So these probably will become a common thing, and people will know exactly when to go to the hospital. They will actually have this preventive or predictive analytics helping them to get to preventive healthcare, right? So hopefully people will be much more healthier and happier because of ML.
Mm-hmm. Healthy and
in
happy.
50 years.
Yeah, definitely healthy and happier, definitely. What excites you most about this startup then?
Actually, we are really, really fortunate to be part of this company, leading this company, which has a huge potential of making a difference in the life of women. And what excites me a lot is that it's a very interesting problem. There's a huge business potential and a huge social impact that this technology can provide. So I think this combination that's there is so very exciting. Mm-hmm. But of course, the primary one is when you actually find a lady who wouldn't have gone to a hospital and you're saying, ma'am, you really require to go to the hospital tomorrow, otherwise you're going to lose your life. Mm-hmm. And we've done that. We've done a screening camp with 20 people, and like 2 of them, we say, you definitely need to go to the next test, right? Mm-hmm. And that the level of satisfaction that comes in when your algorithm is going to help somebody live longer, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. And it keeps us going quite a bit.
So is this a profitable company, or is this a non-profit company? What's the business model?
Sure. So we have 2 business models right now. One is a solution, end-to-end hardware software solution that we deliver to diagnostic centers and hospitals. Here we give the solution either for 3-year licensing or a subscription revenue. That is, we charge the hospital per transaction. It's a revenue share per transaction. Mm-hmm. The second business model is mainly to reach the bottom of the pyramid, or people who don't have time to come to the hospital. Mm-hmm. These are through screening camps. So we partner with NGOs and preventive screening organizations to provide and lease out this solution on a daily basis to people who want to conduct screening camps. They can contact us, and they don't have to buy the solution full-fledged, but they can lease it out for a very small amount per day.
How are you actually attracting customers to this device? How do you spread the word?
Yeah, today, thanks to media, we were featuring in Forbes, Economic Times, Times of India, and of course now your channel as well. So that is giving us quite a few inward leads on our website. We also proactively contact top hospitals in different states to reach out to really top oncologists to learn from them, any corrections we have to make on the course and so on and so forth. So there's both reach out personally to specialists as well as a lot of inward leads that are coming in. As an AI ML problem, as a technology problem, it's a very interesting problem that we're working on. So we get invited to give talks in different conferences. That's also a way of reaching out. And the screening camps and word of mouth is amazing, right? When a lady comes in, she actually brings for the next camp a lot more people because she really loves the experience, where she's going through a very, very private kind of a screening for a very, very private experience, right? That's breast cancer screening where she doesn't have to see anybody while doing so. She actually sort of also brings in a lot more of her friends next time, when we conduct the screening camp. So all of these have helped us so far. Hopefully we'll be able to scale out and scale up this quite a bit in the next few months and years.
Excellent.
Through some partnerships.
Yeah, seems to be going well. Let's talk about you then. What's your background?
Yeah, I'm techie at heart. I did my master's and PhD from Indian Institute of Science, which is one of the premier institutes known for research. In fact, I did my master's and joined one of the first research centers in India, which is developing the first supercomputer from India. It's called CDAC. Then after about 7 years, I was the first member of Hewlett Packard research lab in India. Then I was in HP labs for about 17 years, trying to do some really cool stuff, cutting edge technologies in cloud, distributed computing, pervasive computing, what's called as IoT, and data analytics, also quite a bit semantics and so on. And that's when I did my PhD in parallel. And after that, I was heading the data analytics research lab in Xerox for 4 years, and that's where I got to work with really smart team researchers and really build solutions which could be piloted on in India and other places, and that's where we actually started off working in this area of breast cancer screening through ML on imaging as well, and now I am here, the last 1 year working and learning a lot, being the CEO of NIRAMAI.
And what's it like being a CEO then?
It's a lot of learning and it's very exciting. And also inside a research organization, you get to do all good stuff. You get to work on novel things and you can do pilots and so on. But the kind of independence gives you the speed, the acceleration that's needed to make things happen. You don't have to wait for a long chain of approvals before making a small decision. So this kind of, power empowerment to move very quickly is very exciting. Me and my partner Nidhi kind of, we bounce off a lot of ideas. We have wonderful investors who have been giving us, advice on the right direction. So with that, we just sort of move very quickly. And I can't even imagine within like 4 to 5 months, we had like 3 fully commercially deployed solutions, many users using it. So it's been possible only because it's a separate startup. And yeah.
Excellent. So we have a lot of listeners who want to start their own company. What advice would you give them?
Do it. If you're passionate about something, instead of depending on somebody else to make it real, you do it. Jump off, nothing to worry. If you believe that this technology will work, you will go all out to make it work. And keep the passion and solve any hurdle that comes, keeping the intent in mind, and be open to comments from others. But please do it. If you are passionate about something, make it happen by doing it.
What should first-time founders be focusing on?
I think I was a first-time founder. I am here. But I've had the opportunity of working and seeing very closely how my husband's, entrepreneurship went over the last 3-4 years, right? So watch other people. I think if you decide to be a startup founder, think about what are the things that you need to learn. Talk to people who have done this well before. One is learn from their mistakes. And also, there's be ready to learn a lot, right? And be ready to make decisions very quickly with a little bit of unknown parameters, but open to comments and open to advice. Make your decision. That's and it is not difficult. Is all I would say. But be ready to be learning every day.
What's the one main quality that entrepreneurs should have?
Self-driven, right? You're not asking somebody else to tell you what to do today or what to do tomorrow. Being self-motivated to solve the problem, not being deterred by the hurdles and the problems that you see, not being awed by the huge amount of work that's lying out there, trying to solve one thing at a time and then moving forward. So multitasking also is very important. But being determined to solve the problem, what come may, is very important, I think.
Excellent. Last few questions then. How do you go about scaling this business then?
Right. So we are looking at multiple options. So one is our technology solution is already cloud hosted. It is a SaaS model. So, the software part is taken care of. From on the foot, right now we are doing all direct sales because we would like to very closely work with the hospitals and the experts in the hospital to make sure that the solution is given the right quality. For example, the data collection does not have any errors and the people are trained well to actually address any questions that may come in by the patients and so on. Slowly, we will move into some kind of an indirect mode. We will probably have some kind of a certification mechanism to ensure that the service is delivered with high quality, even if it is an indirect channel and so on and so forth. We are also open to licensing, especially for international. If let's say thermal camera vendor wants to provide this as an additional solution, we're open to that for scaling up as well.
Excellent. Okay. If someone's listening to this and they want to do a health startup, what advice would you give them?
It's a long journey. Don't expect to have the results very, very quickly, like let's say an e-commerce startup or something like that. Because regulatory clearance is very, very important. In our case, it was, I would say think about it, because in our case, we did have an FDA approved thing and we're using expert doctors and making sure the regulatory approval is there while we're doing so. So proving something in a health tech or health tech industry is a long gestation period because of the regulatory needs. Every country will have their own regulatory requirements. So make sure you don't, bypass any of those. But I would just say that it's the most wonderful industry to do a startup in, because it's not just going to make money or make your technology work, but it's going to sort of give you so much of satisfaction when you're making a difference to somebody's health and making them happy and healthier and so on. So I think it's a wonderful domain to be in, but keep the patience. So.
Keep the patience, exactly. Okay, last question. For people who want more information on you and your work, what must they do?
Yeah, please come to niramai.com, niramai.com. We are also on Facebook and Twitter. Please follow us, and we will keep you posted on all the exciting stuff that we're doing. Excellent, Geetha. Thank you for coming on the show today. Thanks a lot, Neil. It was wonderful talking to you and talking to your audience. Excellent. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks to Geetha for coming on the show today. Thanks for listening and subscribing. If you like the show, please leave a comment in iTunes. Thank you for supporting this podcast. Since launching, we have had over 200,000 total downloads, and that should be back next week. If you want to come on the show, send me an email, hello@neilpatel.ca, or tweet @IndianStartupFH, or please go to facebook.com/Indian Startup Show. We'll take care. Thank you and goodbye.